Call roll.
Matthews,
Here.
Ingalls. Here. Flood,
Here.
Bolt, Rutherford,
Here.
Seaborn,
Here.
Richter. We have a quorum.
Stand with me for our interview.
Father God, we are all here today because we're all yeah, we love the city that we're in. We love the people of the city, and we're here because we want to do our absolute very best to make choices in these moments to help rebuild and repair and restore not only the town but the lives of the people. God, just give us the wisdom to do that well. Thank you. See your son later, pray.
Flag salute. Attention, position, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, consideration of a budget amendment for fiscal year 22-23 for Fund 001 to fund an operational shortfall due to the April 19, 2023 storm event with sales and tax revenues exceeding budget estimates.
Hi, good afternoon. This is a budget amendment to authorize expenditures in the Emergency Management Department of the General Fund of $530,000. This is to fund our debris removal services to kind of get us started on that process. Even though this event is declared emergency by FEMA, this will be on a reimbursement basis, and we'll need the budget authority to start these contracts.
Any discussion?
What a mess.
So thankful for all that are working hard on it. So it's a big mess. Just was driving through it again, but so many are doing so much. So we're very thankful for city staff, emergency responders, emergency management, all of them.
So them picking up, I guess, get it to the curb is what they're going to require.
That is the press release we've put out, Facebook post, news site
I
stories.
mean, like it's been in the past.
Correct.
Yeah. And they'll pick up anything? Yeah, it's
Anything-
not just tree limbs, it's
Anything
debris.
storm related.
Okay.
And I think we've seen the graphics out there, but you and I talked the other day, it's not just a one pass and done,
No.
which I think hopefully we can get that word out. So 3 passes I'm seeing from the back. Yeah.
3 minimum.
Yeah, so there's time for folks to continue to work, and
Correct.
then they're not all on their own.
And I know I had conversations with several families where there's literally no room between their front porch
Yeah.
and the road anymore to bring stuff from the back inside yards, and so being able to clear that so that they can continue to move the debris forward is. And is there I've heard conflicting statements on needing to separate it or needing to have it in a certain size. No, it's just get it to the road. Okay.
Needing to separate or to speed up the debris pickup,
Right.
getting it to a certain size. It is not like our bulk pickup.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Do we have a motion?
Who do? Good.
So, sorry. Make a motion we approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2, consideration of a contract with DRC Emergency Services for debris removal.
Mr. Vice Mayor and Commissioners, I apologize up front. I inadvertently missed one of the documents in your agenda package, which is why you have a handout. Allow me to quickly step you through all of the materials that were included in your agenda. The first of which is truly just a one-page contract for disaster debris removal. What we're doing here is we're tacking onto a state contract that DRC already has with the state of Oklahoma. We, of course, have to comply with our own purchasing policies, which call for competitive bidding over $25,000. If we have the opportunity to piggyback onto a state contract, we can forego the competitive bidding competitive bidding process. My apologies. It's been a couple of stressful days. So this is exactly what we're doing. What was also contained in your agenda package is the original state RFP, which starts with this page. That shows how this process was compliant with what FEMA is looking for. Then, of course, the handout that I forgot to attach, which is the Exhibit A, which is accompanying the one-page contract document. Then there was a lengthy proposal from DRC in response to the state RFP, along with the approved sheet of cost. And as you can imagine, we are only now being able to see the full extent of damage, and people are continuing to move debris to the curbside. We have asked them to follow the guidelines that were passed out in the FEMA graphic that was shared widely online, press releases on Facebook, other social media. Because we do not quite have an amount of debris as of yet, we will ask the contractor to do weekly billings so we can stay up on it. We just, you just approved a budget amendment for just a little over $500,000. We do have another $500,000 in contingency funds that we had set aside for such a day as this. Hoping that we would never have to use it, but at this point in time we have over $1 million just for debris removal and monitoring, but we need to make sure that we stay within our budget authority. So it is quite possible, looking at some of the debris removal and the volume there, the tonnage there that was picked up for similar events, that we may be well above the 1 million, but we will come back to you at that point in time. We will keep a very close eye on the expenditure. So this first contract is with DRC. What they will be doing for us is debris removal only. FEMA also requires that the debris removal is monitored by a third-party company, which is what the next agenda item is about. At this point in time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on us using the state contract that is already in place with DRC for debris removal specifically.
So how quick are the DRC going to start?
And I'm looking to our emergency manager, Rochelle Erickson, who, by the way, did a fantastic job fronting this entire effort that we're still in.
So in order for them to start, obviously, is getting this contract signed and approved. We also have to have a debris staging site built for them, ready for them to take it to. We're building that right now. Brad Schmidt with Public Works has his crews working out there. It is a muddy mess right now. We're laying a lot of shell down. I've got mutual aids from Seminole County bringing in 20 loads of shell today, and we're trying to get that laid down. Once it's passable and everyone is approved, they're already getting their resources in town, getting ready to go. So as soon as we say we got a place to haul it, they can start hauling.
They're ready to start.
So a rough estimate, early next week.
Okay.
And the site has already been approved by ODEQ, so we have mastered that hurdle as well.
Discussion?
I think we're good.
We have a motion.
Move to approve the item.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. We'll call a question. Item passes 5-0. Item number 3, consideration of a contract with Debris Tech for debris removal monitoring.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, FEMA requires this two-part debris removal process, one company removing, another independent company monitoring the removal, so as to make sure that it is indeed storm-related debris. Debris Tech came highly recommended by other Oklahoma communities who have just gone through this a number of years ago. Moore and Mustang specifically have both used Debris Tech. Unfortunately, Debris Tech does not have a state contract. What our purchasing policies would have allowed would have been an emergency contract up to the amount of $35,000, which is not quite sufficient in this particular case, which is why we're bringing it to the City Commission. The fact that we did not go out for a competitive bid on this relies on FEMA guidance. 2 CFR 200 allows non-state entities in emergency situations such as this for a limited amount of time to contract with a sole source provider such as Debris Tech for the purposes of disaster recovery. We are in parallel working on an RFP, so we can go through our regular competitive process, but for the first 30 to 45 days, right now this contract is 30 days. For the first 30 days, we're covered by Debris Tech up to this capped amount of $500,000. And again, they will bill us on a weekly basis to make sure that we stay within that budget. We will come back to the City Commission ultimately with a selection of a provider, whether that be Debris Tech or another provider who offers the same type of services for the continued monitoring. But these first 30 days we can cover without having to go through the competitive bidding requirement based on federal guidance, federal statutes. And again, Debris Tech has done this multiple times before. We've heard nothing but good things from the Oklahoma cities that they have worked with in the past.
Thank you. Discussion?
Let's see, which slide is this? Can't tell what the page number is, but it's the page talking about FEMA's recently changing their guidelines on documentation of hazardous trees and limbs, and I think that's great because there are tons of trees that have broken limbs. They're just barely hanging on, that when those fall, it's going to cause more problems. And several trees, so you can see the next big wind, the roots are going to give away this time, but even, they didn't last time. But then also, as many volunteers have come through our offices to head out into the world, some of the houses, they're come back reporting just houses that are barely standing, and just how do we make sure that we get those? Is this part of the plan to make sure that those houses are recorded and put into this, or will that come later? Just a question if it has. Sorry.
You bring up an excellent point, and that happens during a disaster event like this quite often, even at our very own airport. After the first walkthrough, we thought we had one fairly solid hangar, and then turned out that the concrete footing for one of the major support piers was affected after all. So over time, as homeowners, business owners will survey their property, walk through it with an adjuster, they will find additional damage. The Debris Tech monitoring is not for that purpose.
Okay.
FEMA requires very specific tagging and follow through on here's what was picked up, where it was picked up, when it was picked up, the appropriate, the approximate amount, and Debris Tech will take that monitoring all the way through. So ultimately, the city can get reimbursed for all of the storm-related debris because we are fronting the costs at this point in time. So what you described is an individual property owner responsibility. Debris Tech would not be of service to them for that.
Okay.
More discussion. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Call the question. Motion passes 5-0. Nothing further. We are adjourned.